action if you have a pet at home. Snakes count. Maybe not for today's, but so Michael says meow. So Smita, you have one. Thank you. We've been chatting on Instagram. Gayatri, you have yours. JC has hers. Kalyani, great. Jitin, do you have a pet as well?
I do not have a pet right now. We have had many pets. But when our two cats died a couple of years ago, and because we travel so much, we decided to not get another pet right now.
I hear you, Suzanne.
We've had dogs and cats, and yes.
And they're the best, aren't they? And when the list came up of what session would anyone like to volunteer for, I opted to do this one, not because I'm an expert in essential oils with pets, but I am learning because I have, my little mutt is running in and out. She doesn't usually, come into my yoga room when I have a class. So she is excited about this opportunity. I told her she's going to be running class with me today. And Becky says her two kitties, the brother and sister, black, they're jet black, they're gorgeous. Right? So today, I have this beautiful presentation that I've borrowed heavily from our one of the team in the Philippines. I've also deep dived and done a lot of research, because I know that from the circles that we've shared this link in, that a lot of you are dog and cat moms and dads. And for those of you who don't have pets and think it's a little strange that we call ourselves paw parents or parents and our fur babies, just deal with it. There's an oil for that as well. So, and that's Pepper. Pepper, you want to say hi, sweetheart? So here we go. If you can, let me know, give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Thanks, Becky. And if I'm looking a little strange in one corner, it's because my pictures of all of you are there, and I like to, talk to you all and make eye contact with you while the screen is up here. So
we can we can see your whole screen. That's perfect.
That's fine, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now you might find this picture really funny, and I found it extremely funny at the time. Pepper's been with us 2 years. She's a rescue pup. And she comes with a lot of trauma, tremendous trauma. And, when she would hear the neighbor's pressure cooker go off, or she'd hear a little bang in any other room, she'd come straight and plonk herself on me. And so this is me lying on the ground, and then she just found, my face and sat on it. But it was when we began to understand and work with a behavior therapist, because she needed 5 months of residential behavioral training, I realized that there was so much more to this poor kid's, past and all the trauma that she's carrying with her. So I've made it my heart's mission to, to help her, because she is not the only dog that I've had with problems. I got into essential oils in 2015, and that was the time I had this beautiful dog called Duke, and he had epilepsy. And if I knew now what I knew then, I might have even been able to maybe help him, or save his life. But he died because he had got 7 fits, one after the other, in quick succession in an hour. And at the end of it all, he just died. So I made it my heart's mission to make things better for us as as pet parents, and to make it easier for our little dogs, regardless of whether they're traumatized or unwell in different ways. So this presentation comes to you from Miss Pepper Watson and myself. So please post your questions in the chat box. Suzanne and Becky are manning them. And as I said, there's going to be a lot of interesting share, but I'm looking at it from an angle of using these oils safely. I think that's paramount, because just because you like an essential oil doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be fine for your pet. But before we go ahead of ourselves, what is an oil? Okay, so I'm just trying to get my mouse to work. I love this. I just had to have this slide. Again, borrowed and stolen from our Philippines team. We've got your pets watching the presentation too. Okay, so did you know, right? And now in India with our second wave, things are even worse. But did you know that the pandemic has also had an effect on our pets? And go figure, right? Because they feed off our energy. They're feeding off the stress of, you know, every one of us at home. Things have changed for their own lives as well. And then the interesting thing is that, you know, like herbal remedies are not new to the animal kingdom. You'll see your dog or your cat helping itself to a certain herb or a grass in the garden, because it naturally tends to want that kind of natural solution. And then when you look at, you know, what we're currently doing with our pets, where we're buying things off the shelf, we're buying them fancy shampoos, we're buying them fancy tick powders, they're actually doing more harm than good. And more than anything, you know, I really want us to focus on the typical concerns our animals have. Like Labradors have a propensity to, say, epilepsy and hip dysplasia, different things that certain animals are afflicted by. And so if we can support them more holistically, wouldn't that be great? So that's where we as a doTERRA family are coming from, saying, can we look at more natural solutions for our precious little best friends for life? So what is an essential oil? I mean, many of us have heard of it. Some of us, you know, pick up these fragrant oils, they put them in dispensers. And that's our understanding of an essential oil. But an essential oil is an aromatic, volatile compound derived from plants. By aromatic, obviously it means it's fragrant, but it's volatile. It means it has it has this tendency to evaporate really fast. It's powerful, it's potent. So you want to be really, really careful when you're using these beautiful molecules that are distilled or extracted from plants. Because one drop it has like so many different chemical components, and each chemical component has some benefit on the cellular, aspect of the body. So again, one oil can have different outcomes or different health support benefits, right? So just keep that in mind, because the oil that you use as far as an essential oil goes is addressing an issue at the root level. It could be an emotional concern, it could be a physical concern, but you're not just doing something on the surface, but you're getting to the root of that issue, right? So keep that in mind as well. And by the way, I have a PDF that I'm going to leave you with at the end of this class. So you have this information to take away with you and study and pore over it even more. The other important thing to remember, please remember, if you have been attending our doTERRA educational classes every Thursday, this one has, you've got to be able to look at it from an animal's lens, not from the human lens. Their skins are so much more sensitive. Their bodies are so much smaller. Their brains, their hearts, their lungs, they're not like ours. So if I was using 2 drops on me, I might need to use a toothpick dash for my cat. So please bear in mind, this is a brand new understanding of how to use these potent essential oil molecules. And why doTERRA? Why doTERRA? And I will stress on this, and I don't mind if I sound like I'm hard selling, because I really know the purity of this oil. And I wouldn't use anything else on my animal, on my pet. Right? There are oils out there that are synthetic. There are oils that claim to be therapeutic grade. There are those that you wouldn't put on your skin, let alone on your pet. That's Pepper getting a second win for the day. And sorry guys, one moment. Give me that. Yeah. So the doTERRA oil is certified pure, tested grade. It has about, how many rounds, Becky, of third-party testing does our oil go through? About 29?
No, there's 60.
60?
It used to be 57, and then it jumped up to 60 different kinds of tests. 60
Whoa.
different kinds of tests.
Wow. So this, You know, this is it, and this is free of fillers, free of contaminants. Because remember, you really want to trust an oil that you buy. There are so many oils on Amazon. There are doTERRA oils on Amazon that maybe, you know, let me tell you, but that might not be what you're supposed to be getting, because doTERRA only sells through advocates like us. Can you all hear me, or should I send Pepper out?
I just want to remind everybody that during her presentation, instead of raising your hand, just write your questions in the chat. And then at the end of the presentation, we can maybe open it up. Write your questions in the chat.
Okay, so there are several things I'm asking you to keep at the top of your mind. So if you want to keep a little note of it, do that, right? So purity really matters, because if you use an oil that is, you know, contaminated, it can actually do more damage to the cellular system or to the health. This girl is really going crazy today. Yeah. And another thing that's really important about doTERRA is that we source our oils from their natural habitat. From their natural habitat, and where, in which region, one particular oil is the most optimum, you know, combination of chemical constituents. For example, if you're looking at lavender, lavender grows in so many different parts of the world. But we at doTERRA, at least doTERRA, we're all wellness advocates for doTERRA, but doTERRA sources their oil from that region where all the chemical components of the most perfect lavender oil are optimal. Right? So this is something that's really, really important. I get this a lot of the time. People will say, oh my gosh, but doTERRA oils are so expensive. Oh my gosh, 3,000 rupees a bottle for, you know, for say On Guard. Now, do you realize that you only need 1 drop of doTERRA? So if you look at recipes online, they might say 10 drops of this and 20 drops of something else. You just need 1 drop of doTERRA. And you get a 250 drops per 15 ml bottle. So it's literally, you know, a bang for your buck, and it's just 1 drop that you need. And as I said, sometimes for your cats, you just need a toothpick dose of the oil. So it really stretches, you know, your rupee. So you know what essential oils are. Please don't miss the gifs, okay? This is something that we were inspired by the Philippines team. And I loved it so much when Suzanne, you know, shared that deck with me, and I went with the whole GIF theme. So how do these oils work? Now think about it, right? You and I have learned in the previous doTERRA classes that, you know, the oil is breathed in and it addresses, or it hits our olfactory system and sits on the limbic brain, which is our emotional center. It does the same thing for your animal. It does the same thing for your animal, but the animal, your dog and your cat, have 200 to 300 million, you know, receptors. We only have 5 to 6 million receptors. So please remember that. Right? So if you're using an oil on your dog or your cat, you've got to be so sensitive of the fact that they have way better a sense of smell and more sensitive a sense of smell than we ever have. So please be cognizant of that. So you might be thinking, oh my gosh, there's just too many things, you know, to worry about when it comes to doing or using essential oils with our fur babies. Just stay with me, stick with me. The benefits are like far outweigh, you know, the investment of time and effort you might put into understanding and studying this for your babies. So number one, when you know the oil is just presented to the animal, she or he breathes it in, it hits the limbic brain, and it stirs up, you know, those emotions of peace and calm. It also moves into the cellular system, into the bloodstream, and finds its way to different systems of the body that need this oil's help. So it works as magically as it does for us, except it works much faster. Okay? Now, so this piece is going to be a little bit of the serious stuff, some of the, you know, things to be careful of, what to do, what not to do. And also, if you are the kind of learner that likes to make notes, make notes. If you want to take screenshots, go ahead. I'm also sharing that PDF with you at the end. The PDF also has a couple of more details that you can take home with you. Yeah? So this is our board of veterinary advisors, on doTERRA, because we take this seriously. If we recommend an oil for our fur babies, we put our money where our mouth is. And you can see from this, and it's also in your handout, there are links. There are links where you can follow and read more about what these experts say. Okay, so there are two very important links in your handout, which will take you to our doTERRA website with interviews with these experts. There's a worksheet that they also give you. So you can actually, read the transcript or listen to the audio and make your notes, because I'm going to share some of the oils with you too, but that is a beautiful, detailed hand-holding journey through the use of different essential oils that these people and these experts have used with their clients. Okay, so if you'll notice that they're also predominantly holistic veterinary doctors. Many of them use Chinese medicine, some of them use acupuncture. What a beautiful holistic combination. Yeah, one of them is a palliative, how do you pronounce it, Suzanne? Palliative care, right?
Palliative care, yeah.
Palliative care. And I think that's so important because, I mean, not just for the animal, but also for the parent, to be able to see your pet through those final stages of his or her life. I think it's such a beautiful group of people on this board. So follow them, see what they're up to, ask them questions. I'm sure they're going to be extremely open to share more, should you want to dive deeper. Come down this rabbit hole with me. So now you want to be really careful of how you introduce your pet to an essential oil. Yeah. The interesting thing is that your pet will actually choose. Your pet knows, right? Bottom line, if I had to give you like top 3 rules, always, always, always dilute your oil. Always dilute your oil. And there are percentages and how many drops to what based on the size of the animal. You will see that in the next slide, but please keep this on the top of your mind. Always dilute essential oils. If the preference is to let them sniff it, please do that first, right? So dilute your oil, keep the lid on and present the oil to the dog or the cat, right? If they go for it, if they find an interest in it, they show an interest in wanting to maybe lick it, that this is something that they perhaps like, right? Or you will actually see them move away if they don't. They might do something strange with their face and there's their snout if they don't like it, or they might walk away from it. Be very, very in tune to what response you're getting. Then put the dilution, if you've got a positive response, put the dilution in your hand, rub it really, really well. So that again, it increases the spread. And then I always present my hands to Pepper before I even try it on her body. And if she is absolutely settled with the smell, which is again, much, 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 much diluted because of the rub down, she gets a little flick on the back of her back. Areas where she can't lick the oil off. So a little bit somewhere near the ears, somewhere on the collar. But also remember, be very gentle. It's like a patch test. You don't want to put too much on their body because they can't get away from their body, can they? But if you put it, say, on their collar and they don't like it, and you realize they can't, you can always take the collar off. Right? So never leave them locked in with the smell. Give them the opportunity to move and walk away from the smell. Trust your dog's intuition.
Hey, Annalise, someone's just asking, could you go back again to the advisory board members? Kirthi would like to take a screenshot, Kirthi, and then you'll have that. Take a screenshot with your phone, or or just from your computer. Okay, she just wanted to.
Thank you, Kirthi, for showing this much interest, because I think that's really like heartwarming. As you can see, like many of us are crazy pet parents. We want to make this difference. Yeah. So there you have about introducing the oil. Also remember that less is more. Less is way more. So take a screenshot of this, though it's also in your PDF, but if you feel you want to have this right away, this is again for large-sized dogs, small-sized dogs, medium-sized dogs, the ratio of a carrier oil. Now, essential oils are very different from carrier oils. I find a lot of people call me and say, I want to, buy some doTERRA oils. I know coconut oil and I know olive oil, but those are not essential oils. Those are carrier oils. Those are nut oils. Those are base oils in which you mix an essential oil to make it break down to even smaller molecules so that they can be absorbed faster and safer, right? So you always want to dilute it in a carrier oil. Yeah, so ask questions because Becky and Suzanne are experts. They're our mentors, and I can see from their faces that they're answering a lot of questions. I'm loving that. Yeah. And if I miss something, Suzanne, let me know. I'll try and find that plug. So we've got the carrier oils. We've got the essential oils. Please also remember, essential oils never mix in water. Okay, so you want to be able to get it in a fat base, so some kind of fat base in which the oil can dissolve. One more thing you want to remember is, so even when you read the doTERRA blogs and the interviews with these experts have recommendations for internal use. But that is because these are doTERRA tested oils, guys. Please, please, please remember that. If you're buying an oil that is not tested by these people, you cannot be guaranteed that it's safe for your animals. I would definitely not put something into my pet's body unless I'm 100% assured of its quality and of its safety and of its tried and tested use. Yeah. So please always read up on an oil. So an oil might be good, like say for example, let's take fennel. Fennel is a really good oil for your digestive requirements for your animal, but not for a pregnant animal. So you want to be able to read up on your oil of choice. Yeah? And we're always around, right? We're always around supporting you in your education when you are part of our doTERRA family. This is a very common thing that we do, especially I know in India now, diffusing oils in your home has become a big thing. What you want to also pay attention to here is how and what do you diffuse? So if you're using the synthetic fragrant oils, those are not essential oils. Those are synthetically produced. An essential oil, as you know, is plant derived and it's pure. It's very, very potent. Now, if I'm diffusing it for human use, but I have a pet in the house, I want to be able to let my pet be in a ventilated room, at a place where he can maybe move away from the scent if he doesn't like it. So if I'm like in my yoga room, I have my oils, burning. When I say burning, it's in a water dispenser. I have a doTERRA water diffuser. But when Pepper's in the room, I again make sure I'm not lighting something that is not agreeable with her. And then I won't light it for too long. Right? So again, there are rules for how long, how many drops, minimal amount. I'm telling you, a little goes a long way. So keep watching for signs of your animal's response to the oil that you're using. I made a big boo-boo the other day, So with COVID and the way things are, I keep a bottle of On Guard on my bedside table. So every night I put a drop in because, after hours and hours of teaching, my throat does feel sore and the On Guard does its magic. So in the morning I wake up and I find my On Guard missing. I was like hunting high and low, checking with my husband, like, where's my On Guard? And then finally I found that Pepper had actually taken it and dropped it off somewhere else in the house. And I was so guilty, because these are things you want to really, it's like a child. You don't want to have, your child getting at these things. And so doTERRA oils for children actually have child locks. But I would say for your dog, maybe get the child lock, but also keep your oils away from them. Yeah, dogs, cats as well. By the way, essential oils are used beautifully with horses, but that's another class. But if you have, I know there's a girl in Bangalore who's looking to, create blends for a horse stable that she is taking care of because of all the flies and all of those. So reach out to us if you have a requirement like that, and we'll give you that piece of information. Now for the good part. So we've got the essential information out of the way. So then what do you do with all of these beautiful, magical, potent healing tools, right? That you can have in your medicine cabinet. I love this word. Thank you, Suzanne. I'm loving the whole GIF world.
I wish I could train my cats to do that to me.
True that. Okay, so now here's a little work that you all need to do. Okay, on a sheet of paper, if you have, pets at home, of course. If you don't have pets at home and you're part of the doTERRA, family, or our advocates, do this maybe just for you. Of course, I know we're going to be talking oils for dogs and cats, but there might be some that can also overlap for you. So what are your health priorities? What are your top health priorities? And write down why. Why do you want this for your pet, for your precious little pet? Maybe your pet is traumatized, like Pepper. Maybe there's separation anxiety. Maybe they're aging. Maybe it's cancer, God forbid. Whatever it is that you want more of for your pet, what you want less of, just write that down. This is also available in your PDF, but I knew it wasn't going to be possible for you to print out in time for class. So make a list of the oils we talk about, because this would be your cheat sheet. And this is what you can then, connect with whoever invited you to come here tonight. You can talk to them later and say, hey, you know what? This is the list I made for my little, doggo or my cat at home. And how do I get these oils? So this would be your prescription. But please remember, there are some oils that are definitely taboo for cats and a bunch of them for animals. The one that really screams out at me for cats and dogs is tea tree. It's a very common oil that we use as human beings, like, if you have a fungal infection, if you have an ingrown toenail. So I use tea tree at home too, but I use it after Pepper's gone to bed. So she won't be tempted to even lick it off my body. These other oils like oregano, thyme, cinnamon, they're hot. They're very hot. You'll find some of them in some of the blends that are recommended by these experts on our panel. But I know that they have done so with their research and the fact that maybe the percentages and the way it's been blended is safe for our animals. But read that document, because they also give you, how to mix it, how many drops would be safe. Grapefruit is another one I wouldn't use on cats. It's great for cellulite. So if you're using it for yourself, you want to make sure that your cat's not getting a good lick of you. These are, contraindicated for dogs. A little bit of ylang ylang is again found in some of the blends, but then that's again the trust that I'm putting in our experts, because these are the doTERRA oils that we are recommending. So take a screenshot of this. This is like a quick cheat sheet of how your pet medicine cabinet could look like. Okay, your PDF has a lot more details. I didn't want to, take you through slide after slide after slide. I want to leave time for questions and talking. But if you ask me, this is what Pepper has in my oil box. Right? She absolutely loves Adaptive. We went through different oils for her. She didn't like lavender. She would actually kind of go away from, the lavender when I presented it to her. So Adaptive, she just absolutely loves. She comes to me when she sees me open the oil box and rub the Adaptive. Why I love these, longer roll-ons is because they're already pre-diluted. But then again, when you read in detail for each of these oils, you might want to dilute it even further. There's no harm. There's no harm breaking the molecules down even further, because it's easier for the animals, liver to process it, and for the entire reach on the body as well. Remember, the easiest way is for them to just take a little whiff of it, and it's already entered the bloodstream. So I'll just quickly tell you a couple of things with each of these oils, and then I'll show you a couple of fun do-it-yourselves that you can do with your pet, with your pet. So as you say, as you saw, adapted is great for the nerves, especially, for dogs like Pepper that have trauma and history that still has them extremely nervous and extremely frightened. Easy Air, that's what it's called in Malaysia, from where we source our products at the moment before we open in India. Easy Air is great for respiratory support. Same for us as humans, but remember, these are the roll-ons, these are the touch blends. Okay. Frankincense, you cannot go wrong with frankincense to support the nervous system. It's also going to be great for any of your bone issues, immune boosting, support for your pets. I love, 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 love frankincense. Interestingly, our Zengest, which is Digest Zen from the US market, Zengest is great for your animals' digestive health. So a lot of the time we find that, their anxiety or their fears and whatever can also, result from bad digestion. So fixing things at the root is where we're headed, aren't we? So that's what we want to do. On Guard is our, I think it's flying off the shelves with the way things are with the virus, but On Guard is a really good blend for them, especially again for their own immune systems and their own support. Lavender, when in doubt, bring your lavender out. I have a story to tell you about this actually. So I was at a business meeting with our, web designers, and one of the guys had a meeting outside, because you know how web designers and creative people are. So we had extended our meeting, and he had to leave the office to go someplace, finish something, and come back. So he left his dog that he was babysitting because the wife had left town. So the dog was in the studio with us, and he said, take care of her. And he left for the meeting. Now this little thing went crazy because her dad was not available. And she kept jumping up on the table. She kept, climbing up on me. She was extremely anxious. And I had gifted them a bunch of oils. So I quickly told the office boy, I said, bring that box of oils that I gave you all. And he brought the box, and I pulled out the lavender. And I just gave her a little whiff, just a whiff. And before long, she had settled down. She was sitting at my feet, and she had fallen asleep. Honest to God story. Honest to God story. And I was like, sheesh, this stuff really works. But be aware that the sleep is not something that's, unhealthy drowsiness that the oil has brought about versus a nice, calm, relaxed, response in the animal. Another one that's really good for, I find so many of my friends come to me with their Labradors and the hip dysplasia. I would recommend Aroma Touch. Be careful with cats because it's got cypress and it's got grapefruit, but otherwise it would be good for your dog. Yeah. Frankincense is great for muscular issues, for pain. Copaiba, beautiful for pain, for inflammation. Oh my gosh, these are like, why keep all the good stuff for ourselves, right? Why not for our pet babies? So this is like your must-haves. Some of the must-haves. I got a list as long as my arm, but I didn't want to overwhelm you. So there are a couple of, these are just a few do-it-yourself recipes, but doTERRA, is a library of good fun stuff that you can do for your pet. So I realized that, flea collar is something we really want. Why put, what is that thing we give them? Bractum, something for their fleas twice a month, twice every 2 months, something. I'd rather do this, right? So you're putting capsules of garlic and cedarwood, lavender, lemon, things that are refreshing and also keep the bugs away. So this is a really cool way to get a nice, healthy, safe flea collar on them. A lovely pet shampoo made at home. And if you can do it for yourself, if you're, making your DIYs for your kitchen counters with your lemon oil or your peppermint oil at home, why not also put something together for your pupper or your cat? So these are there in your handbooks. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Your anxiety spray, especially firework time, so all those times when the animal really, really feels afraid, when you're leaving town and it's left with, the kennel. You want to be able to leave something sweet and safe with the caretakers. So I love this guy. So, as doTERRA, as a doTERRA wellness family, we're constantly looking for humans to come on board, right? To be members with us so that we can all indulge ourselves in these beautiful oils. Yeah, we don't have a separate dog membership, but you can get yourself a membership so that your little one enjoys all of these benefits. So how do you do that? There are 3 ways to engage with us. One is, of course, you can buy retail. So you can reach out to the person who invited you here tonight and say, hey, I really need these for my pet. If you feel like, oh my gosh, this is something that I can really do. This is something that I want my pet to benefit from. Then you sign up as a member. You get the 25% off benefit that we all enjoy, and add to that your loyalty reward program. And you've got immense benefits. You see that on the next slide, because every time you buy something worth 50 points, which is about 50 USD, you're accumulating points and you're getting product back free. It's like crazy. I got frankincense that is worth some 6,000 rupees for free, which I'm enjoying. And I just use 1 drop. So it's lasting me, like, I'm thinking it'll be 3 years before I need a new frankincense bottle. The third way you can do this is to join us, because you have this mission on your heart. And as you can see, I mean, each of us, like Becky, her specialty is digestive health. Suzanne is about respiratory and allergies, because that's where her story began. JC on the team, she's, for moms and babies. I, of course, it's for women's hormones, and I'm thinking maybe I'm going to now do a little more specialization in pets, because the stuff I learned over the last couple of weeks, just putting this deck together, has been empowering. And so join us if you have a mission on your heart and become a wellness advocate. You don't have to know everything. You learn on the job, because we have a beautiful team that supports you. I learn every day from Suzanne and from Becky and all of the support. So as a wellness advocate, you're building business, you're building other people who come on board, and you benefit from products they buy. Right? So it's not a pyramid networking marketing kind of scheme. I don't know if I'm even putting it right, Suzanne, but it's where you're encouraging people to benefit by helping them live a natural solutions life. And all you're doing then is benefiting from spreading that word. Yeah, so the product is always at the forefront of the doTERRA mission. Yeah. This is how your loyalty rewards program would work. For the first 1 to 3 months, you get 10% additionally back as points. Oh, I think I'm getting that wrong. That math wrong. Suzanne, would you do the slide for me, please?
Oh, sure. Sorry, I was answering a question.
Sorry.
There have been so many questions, a lot of new people on this class, visitors and guests. And so some of this can seem a little bit overwhelming, but Annalise, this presentation has been so delightful. It's so nice to see these animals and these pets moving, and to have your beautiful spirit explaining all of this. So this is the Loyalty Rewards Program. The month after you enroll, when you enroll with your original kit or your original order, that's your enrollment month. Then the month following enrollment, you can join the Loyalty Rewards Program. The reason, and this is optional, it's not anything that anyone has to do. However, if you're going to build this as a business, it is required. And these little charts kind of explain what is most important. When you join the Loyalty Rewards Program, and when you become a member, you get 25% wholesale prices on everything that you purchase. However, as you order month after month after month, you can increase the amount of points that you earn. It's kind of like a frequent flyer program, or maybe you've had a punch card in a store where when you purchase so much, they give you free stuff. That's how this is. And in the first 3 months, in addition to your 25% wholesale prices, doTERRA will give you 10% back in your account in points, and you can redeem those points for free products. After 3 months, then you get to start earning 15% back in free points, and then 20% back, then 25% back. After a year, in addition to your 25% off, you're going to get 30% back of your order back in your account in points that you can redeem for free products. It's absolutely amazing. Also, if you're part of the loyalty rewards program, you can also earn commissions if you are, as you can see here on this chart at the bottom, if you are ordering at least 100 PV per month, then you can earn commissions back on everything that other people order that you have enrolled or shared the oils with. Another thing that doTERRA does is every month, so tomorrow or the next day, they will announce the free product of the month for May. If you place your order 125 PV, so a little bit more than 100, 125 PV by the 15th of the month, then you get the free product of the month. So this month for me in the United States, it was lime, and I placed my order by the 15th, and doTERRA gave me a free lime, which I love lime. So I was really, really excited about that. Then they have other promotions and things as well. But the most important thing is, if you join the Loyalty Rewards program, it's a monthly order. Now, if you're not building the business, it doesn't have to be 100 PV. You can just order one item, and then you keep the points in your account. If you order at least 50 PV each, then that's when you move along the scale and you increase in that. But it's the best and the smartest and the least expensive way. People say, oh, these oils are so expensive. Well, if you consider your 25% off wholesale price, and then in addition, you consider that you can get up to 30% more back, that's 55% total off the cost of the oils. That's the way I purchase my oils, and that's the way that most people do it. Another thing you can do with your free points, those are free products. You can turn around and sell that retail, and you can make 100% commission on that if you want to sell them to your friends and family. Right now in India, you cannot sell them openly in a store or on your website, but you can sell them to your friends and family for the retail price and make some really good money. So hope that covered it, Annalise.
Thank you, Suzanne. I was happy you reminded us about the 100% as well. I think it always helps to hear it over and over and over again. Yeah. So this is, these are some of the kits that, so say you're signing up as a member today. As a wholesale member, again, you have a choice of any of these kits from Malaysia. As a wellness advocate, this would be one of the investments you would make. And so you would make an investment in an essential oil kit. The simplest intro kit is with lavender, peppermint, and lemon. Again, 3 brilliant oils to have at home for yourself as well as for your pets. Yeah, so lemon, again, great for disinfectant, for freshening up, for alertness, for so many different benefits there. So reach out to whoever called you or invited you here tonight. And I'm going to be closing our presentation right now, and I'll attach our PDF for you. Please, continue to ask questions. If I have answers for that, I'm going to point you in the direction of Suzanne and Becky and the 4 experts that we have on our channel.
We have a lot of experts on this class. We have. I don't even consider myself an expert, really. I consider myself still learning. I mean, I'm certified. I've done the certification, but I mean, Praveen, he's done the certification. I would consider him an expert. I would consider JC an expert. Annalise is an expert. Becky, Larry's an expert. Hu K. Lee is an expert. We've got lots of experts. We've got Sadir here. We've got Pinkesh. We've got so many experts that are on our team that you can really trust and know that whoever invited you to this class is going to help you get started and guide you. We're just so grateful for all of you. So that was fantastic.
And just for the record, if I may add, say, you're looking to be a wellness advocate, if that's something that inspires you, do not be afraid of, say, oh my gosh, this presentation, I don't know that much. We didn't know that much either when we started. And as Suzanne said, we're learning every day. These are just specialty classes that we're hosting. Our general intro classes are simpler. It's easy for you to plug and play and teach your friends, teach your neighbors, teach your family. Yeah? So please, 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 remember that this is something that is very, very easy to do and to teach.
Thank you,
Thank
Annalise. That was so fantastic. I just can't even say, a little bit unique, a different topic because we were talking about pets. That was absolutely wonderful. Okay, Inderveer, I'm gonna unmute you and see if you want to ask a question. Go ahead. You have to unmute yourself though.
Sure.
There you go.
So yeah, first of all, very good evening. See, I want to start a career with network marketing only. Okay. So the doTERRA, I have seen the presentation for the first time. So only the concern of mine is like, is it applicable for all the like pre-existing disease which we have, like diabetes, hypertension, whatever disease we have? Is it applicable for all the things, or it's applicable only for some particular?
Inderveer, I'll answer that question because I want to make it very clear that we don't ever promise that the oils are going to cure a disease or a pre-existing condition. However, the oils will give support and help and relief to every health issue that you have. It doesn't matter how long you've had it, how serious it was, whatever it is, the oils can give support to your body in dealing with that issue. It will help to relieve symptoms and side effects and all kinds of issues. And sometimes they do help your body to really cure things. For example, I suffered from allergies for 15 years. I wasn't born with that, but it was something that I developed that was a pre-existing condition like what you're talking about. 15 years, and they got worse and worse and worse every year, right? When I started using the oils, and this is just my own personal experience, when I started using the oils, I was on 3 medications. And over time, I was able to eliminate my allergies, right? Now, that's my own personal experience.